Morning everybody, Lisa Moore, Fit for More here, and it's been a great week, hasn't it? We're finally allowed to get back to hands-on therapies. Hairdressers are open, beauticians are open, shops are open. We're getting there, slowly but surely, and it's been really nice to have my fantastic new space, which I can show you around very briefly. There is my therapy table, and this is my garden studio that I use for my fitness classes, which I do every morning, Monday to Thursday. My personal training clients, which I do on Zoom as well as the classes, but eventually I will be able to have one-to-one PT clients in here. I use it for my meetings, for my coaching, and now I can finally, posted it the wrong way around, get back to doing some craniosacral therapy. So if you didn't know that one of my jobs, one of my talents, is I trained as a craniosacral therapist 15 years ago. And it was something that I hadn't heard about. And a lot of people, when you say craniosacral therapy, they go, cranio what? A lot of people have heard about cranial osteopathy for babies, especially babies that are not sleeping very well or babies that are struggling with colic. And craniosacral therapy is quite similar to cranial osteopathy, but you don't have to be an osteopath to do craniosacral therapy. But it has its roots in craniosacral. It has its roots in osteopathy. So there is a very holistic feel to it. But it doesn't just focus on the head, and it's not head massage. Everybody seems to think if they come for a craniosacral treatment that I'm going to move their head around and I'm going to mess their hair up and it's all going to be about the head. But craniosacral, top of the head, base of the spine, cranium, sacrum. So it's all connected by your spinal cord, your spinal column. And around the spinal cord, the spinal column, and also around the inside of your skull, we have this little tube where something called the cerebrospinal fluid flows. And it flows from your sacrum up round your head and then back down again. So it has its own unique rhythm. And obviously, into the spinal cord, all of your nerve endings go. So all the way up from your head, all the way down to the base of your spine. In simple terms, it's a bit more complicated than that. Your nerves come out, and your nerves innervate your muscles and your tissues, and they're attached to bones, etc., etc. So it's all linked. So as a craniosacral therapist, what I am looking to do is to find the parts of you that are not in alignment, for want of a better word, or there's tensions or torsions, or there's knots, and where it's not flowing. So craniosacral therapy can help in two ways. It can help from a physical point of view. And I was recommended to go and see a craniosacral therapist years ago, actually 16, 17, 18 years ago, because I had a neck problem pretty much all my adult life, teenage and adult life. And I used to get that neck situation where, you turn your head and then you're like, oh my God, can't turn my head back. And I'd spend days, sometimes weeks, with this sort of crick in my neck, walking around like this, and it was horrible, and it was becoming more and more common, and causing me problems and discomfort and pain. And I tried physiotherapy, which worked okay. I tried massage, which worked okay. I tried McTimony chiropractic. I tried lots of different things, and nothing really worked in the long term. So I thought, got to go to the doctor, see what they can say. You expect that the doctor's going to be able to give you a treatment or a magic pill or something. And he spoke to me and he went, he said, you need to go and see my friend Richard. He's a craniosacral therapist. All right, what? Okay, right, yeah. So I went to see this guy, Richard, and I laid on his couch with all my clothes on, and he put his hands under my head, and then he lifted my arms a bit, and he put his hands under my spine, under my middle back, under the base of my spine, which was a bit weird. And it felt like he wiggled my head around a bit, but not in a pushing it around, just in a It was sort of rolling. Very odd, very odd. Anyway, came away from that treatment and thought, my goodness me, my neck can move in a way that it hasn't, well, ever moved. And I went back and I think I had about 2 or 3 treatments. And I have to say, ever since that day, my neck has never cricked and it solved the problem. I still get tension in my shoulders and in my neck and you know, occasionally I think, oh, could do with something. But it's never done what it used to do on a regular basis. And I was hooked, absolutely fascinated about how it worked. So I took the opportunity to sign up for the course. It was a 2-year course up in London, not a full-time course, so I would go up once a month for 4 or 5 days, can't remember, 4 or 5 days, and then I would have to practice on clients. There was a lot of physiology to learn. There was a lot of learning all of the bones and all of the holes that you have in your head and where the nerves go and all the different parts of the brain, all the different parts of the body, the endocrine system. You know, there was a lot of physiology. Thankfully, being in the fitness world, I'd done quite a lot of physiology regarding personal training. So I knew a lot about muscles and tissues and fascia and that sort of thing. But this took it to the next level. But it's a very, yes, it works on a physical basis. But what I didn't realise until I signed up for the course was that it also really works well on an emotional point of view. The best way to describe it is, do you remember the old-fashioned telephones that had that curly cord? And the curly cord used to get knotted, and even though you always felt like you put the telephone down in the same way, the cord would get knotted and tied up and things, and so you'd have to pick the phone up and just let it dangle, and it would sort of unwind. Craniosacral therapy sort of does that. It sort of unwinds the stuff that goes on in your body from a physical point of view. But also, if you think about when you have trauma, so let's say you were in a car accident and you whacked your head on the steering wheel and you broke your arm and maybe had a few cuts and bruises. You went to hospital, perhaps they stitched you up or whatever. But eventually, the physical trauma would heal. You may have a scar, but it would disappear. The black eye would go, the bruising would go, and you know, generally your body would heal and you wouldn't see it. But the trauma of the impact sits as an emotion in the body. And you know, you may well have been driving in your car after that accident, and as soon as some brake lights come up in front of you, you sort of you can feel the adrenaline coursing around your body, and the emotional trauma can get stuck in your body in the same way. So you can heal the physical pain, but sometimes the emotional trauma takes a long time to go. But it's held within the body. It's held within the body's tissues. It's held within the body's systems. And you know, they've done loads of studies about trauma and how trauma can then have a physical impact on your health. You know, trauma can result in stroke, it can result in cancer, it can result in heart disease, dementia, etc. You know, there is a lot of scientific proof now to show that trauma can cause illness or disease within the body. So craniosacral therapy can work on 2 levels. It can work really well on the physical level. It's great for necks, lower back, shoulder pain, hip pain, those sort of things, because it's a very gentle way of releasing tension around the joints. But it is also amazing for emotion. So, for example, I've worked with clients that have suffered of bereavement and are just struggling to sort of find their way through because they need to let the trauma out. But perhaps talking therapies or perhaps talking about it is maybe too painful. Cranial will help to release those things without having to talk about it, releases it in a more natural way. People struggling with anxiety and low mood or depression can also do really well with craniosacral therapy because it allows the body to do it naturally. It's, you know, it's like when you go for a long walk and you've been having a really, really tough time, really bad day, and you decide, that's it, I'm getting out. You go for a long walk and you have that feeling of release as you keep walking, you keep walking. And so this is what this therapy can do. It's fascinating. I love it. I know when I first started to do it, those years ago, I found it difficult to talk about because there is an element of it that you can't really explain. But as I've got older, as I've got wiser, and as I work with more patients, clients, and as I've worked with clients in the physical world as well, I know that emotions and our mental health plays such a big part in our overall health. And so I know that craniosacral therapy can really help. And it's a wonderfully gentle therapy. So if you're worried about pain and being pulled around and pushed around, it doesn't do any of that. You literally just lay down on the couch, fully clothed, close your eyes, and quite a lot of people fall asleep. Or they go into that lovely mental thought. I would tell you a little bit more about craniosacral therapy because it's been over a year since I've been able to practice because of COVID. We now are able to practice, and I have got everything set up so that it's all COVID safe. I can sanitize this whole room, leave the windows open. I've got a COVID policy. All of that is done and ready. So I thought I would let everybody know that I'm open. I'm only seeing 2 to 3 clients a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's generally afternoon appointments. But if you can't make afternoon appointments and you needed to do something in the evening, just give me a call and let me know. Treatments last for about an hour and they cost £50. I always recommend that it's a good idea to have a course of treatments. But if you just actually wanted some time for you to let go, to relax, and to feel really chilled and warm and comfortable and, fulfilled, then you can just come for a one-off appointment. So if you want to know any more, just get in touch. Message me on Facebook, drop me an email, lisa@fitformore.co.uk. Or if you want to, give me a call. But there, somewhere on this page, there'll be a button you can press, or you can send me a message if you want to find out any more about it. I would love to see you. I'd love to be able to help you. It's wonderful therapy. I'm sure that you would enjoy it. So let me know. I thought I would tell you all about it. Take care.